Hello, and welcome to the Cryptocurrency News Channel. Today, we're going to look at the metric of hype and which coins are the most hype coins. And no, it's not any of the top five, and it's not Tron. This is actually a pretty good thing to look at, and they only did a Twitter study. And because it's based on Twitter, it's actually surprising that Tron doesn't rank a lot higher. But obviously, the high market cap coins are not going to rank very high on this because they actually did this study on, I think, hype number of tweets per X number of market cap. So the higher the market cap is, the tweets have to rise exponentially with market cap. So that's actually why none of the top five or Tron actually made it that high, because the most overhyped coins based on the performance are the smaller coins. So let's actually take a look. And you don't really want to buy coins that are completely based on hype. You want more substance beneath the coins, like coins that don't have to toot their own horn and can maintain their price are the coins that you want to buy. You don't really want coins with high scores that toot their own coin. And some of these coins are so high up there that they're probably based on hot air. But let's actually take a look at which are the most hyped coins. So Cryptocurrency Analysis and Data Platform, the TIE, recently did an investigation into crypto hype on Twitter. Which tokens are being manipulated the most through bot accounts and inflated engagement, which means they're not being pushed down. The price is actually being buffered up by inflated engagements and bot accounts. To compare, it looked at hype to activity ratio, or the number of tweets per $1 million of trade volume. So this is going to favor the coins with high trade volume and not favor the coins with low trade volume. So it's number of tweets and responses per $1 million of trade volume. So they studied 450 cryptocurrencies in the investigation, and there was a hype to activity ratio of 1.02 tweets per million of trade volume. So any token rated under this value would seem to be underhyped, and they're not using social media as a marketing tool and not really caring whether it was noticed or not. Other than that, or it's flying under the radar. And the ones that are way above 1.02, like in the hundreds, are super overhyped and are floating on hot air. So the least overhyped currency turns out to be Tether, because it's freaking Tether. No one cares about Tether because it's going to be $1. So no one tweets about it. No one's like, oh my God, Tether's going to $800, because it's not. The article says, while this might become a surprise to some, it's really not. It's a stable coin. Stablecoins don't really have that much hype because they're stable, and people don't care about things that are stable. They want to make money. So other low scores included EOS, because no one talks about EOS on Twitter, which means no one cares about it. Ethereum Classic, same thing. Cosmos, which is quite new. There was a lot of tweets on it probably 2 or 3 months back, but now it's like not there. And Neo, 0.231. Now, here's the thing. You don't want to be overhyped, but you also don't really want to be completely underhyped. Because if you're underhyped, that means no one is talking about you, especially if you're like a top 10, top 15 coin. That means no one is talking about you, and you are sort of fading into irrelevance. If you are a top 10, top 15 coin, you want some social media mentions, but you don't want to be super overhyped. So cryptocurrencies scoring values in the rough area of average appear to be quietly confident in their own ability. So you actually want to actually score somewhere in the middle, around 1 or so, to say that you're not really underhyped. So people are talking about you, but you're not overhyped, meaning you're riding on hot air. So having no need to blow their own trumpets, they can concentrate on doing the job at hand. So the majority of the top 5 tokens by market cap fell into this group. Bitcoin gets 1.72, so slightly higher than average. Ethereum gets slightly lower on 1.17. Bitcoin Cash slips below average at 0.072. I think like during the hash war, it might have been actually up on that. But right now, no one really talks about Bitcoin Cash. No one cares about Roger Ver, so it doesn't get much mention. And Litecoin sits in the middle at 1.08. So, somewhere between 0.5 and 1, these are not really that overhyped or underhyped. They're just okay. People do talk about them. They're not super overinflated. Now, notably, one that's missing out of the top 5 is XRP, and it scored 4.07 on hype to activity score, and this actually spikes even higher to 6.66, mark of the devil, but We can ignore that because this is just a coincidence in the number. 6.66 when including popular hashtags like XRP Army and XRP Community. However, 4.07 is still not that overhyped because if looking at the coins, smaller coins that are truly overhyped, this is nothing. This is actually fairly average. So XRP isn't as overhyped nearly as some of the smaller coins. So, but even XRP fades into insignificance compared to some of these overinflated hype beasts. The top three comprises of Token Pay, which is scoring at 911.1 tweets per 1 million volume. Electronium, 678.8 tweets per 1 million volume. And Dragon Chain, 505 tweets per $1 million of volume. Token Pay has an astonishing 33 million % higher hype to activity ratio than Twitter. You should really compare it to Bitcoin and not, you should really compare it to Bitcoin instead of Tether because Tether shouldn't have any hype around it. So it should be like an infinite ratio against Tether. So the most overhyped coins are Token Pay, Electronium, and Dragon Chain. And there's a lot of, shouts of scams on these coins as well because they are so overhyped based on their volume. Now, like when you look at 911, 678, and 505, XRP's ratio of 4.07 or 6.66 doesn't really seem that much. And the thing is, XRP definitely gets more mentions, and so does Litecoin, Bitcoin, and Ethereum than these smaller coins, but they have vastly more volume than Token Pay, Dragon Chain, or Electronium. And I don't think there's any way that these communities, which are so small, can generate nearly as many tweets as like XRP or Bitcoin or Ethereum. I think a lot of this is actually driven by bots. So please pay attention to coins with these like big ratios like Token Pay, Electronium, and Dragon Chain. I think a lot of this activity is actually generated by bots, and you don't really want to buy too many of these coins whose activities are really generated by bots, because you're basically buying into kind of like a bot scam type investment. And you can really look at the followers on Twitter. Electronium has 127,000 followers. BitMEX, which is the world's biggest futures trading platform, only has 65,000. And I guess some of you are wondering about Tron. And those of you who are wondering about Tron, you guys are going to be disappointed because Tron scores a hype to activity ratio well below average at 0.544. But if you include Facebook likes, there's a lot of likes for Tron as well. But here's the thing about Tron, why it scores so low, because for these coins like Token Pay, Electronium, Dragon Chain, there's a bunch of like random bots tweeting and stuff about it. For XRP, there's like the XRP Army tweeting about it. The only one that's really tweeting about Tron is Justin Sun. And there's really no one else besides Justin Sun that actually tweets about Tron. So that's one person generating hype. Now, it's an important person because he's the CEO. But it doesn't compare to hundreds or thousands of people or bots generating hype for the coin. So Tron is actually not super overhyped if you do the Twitter metric. Tron has other problems like Justin Sun lying all the time. That's Tron's issue. But based on this study, I don't think I'm going to buy any Token Pay, Electronium, or Dragon Chain anytime soon. The top 5, honestly, I don't have any trouble buying any of them because their numbers really aren't that high, and a lot of them do have adoption in many places. So I'm not really that, when you're talking about Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, I don't really have that much trouble actually buying those coins because they are actually accepted at a lot of terminals, and they don't really completely ride on hype. Yes, XRP has quite a bit more hype than the other 4, but it also has a fairly large use case, and there is some significance to that hype. But none of those are like Token Pay, Electronium, and Dragon Chain, which right now, what I'm seeing, has not that much use case or any proof that the use case is actually utilizing these things, but a ton of tweets which are probably generated by bots. So that's the report for today. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you and have a nice day.